We've got the Stanley Cup here in the city, and we also have the keeper of the cup, Howie Borrow, in the studio with us. First and foremost, sir, thank you for bringing this monstrosity of a trophy in studio. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, thank you. Yeah, happy to be here. It must be pretty exciting to be in the city this time of year now with the Rangers doing so well, too. So we're happy to be here.
Yeah, we're getting 1994 vibes all around the city, but I don't want to jinx anything. Just like I don't want to touch the cup, I don't want to jinx the Rangers and what they're doing right now. Before we even get into how you got involved with the cup, what you're doing here in New York City, let's talk about the history of the cup, because I did all my Google research, but some of our fans might not know. Can you give us some pretty interesting tidbits and facts on this Stanley Cup?
Okay, so basically it was presented to the amateur champion within the Dominion of Canada back in 1893 when it was first presented. Wow. And that was Lord Stanley, and that's where they got the nickname. But the official name of the trophy is actually the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup. Wow. Because back then it was a challenge cup, and you had to challenge the defending champion if you wanted to try to win it. And it just went on back and forth back then until the NHL came involved. But yes, it weighs 37 pounds. It's made of sterling silver. It never changes shape anymore. The 5 bands here will always stay the same. Okay. Once the bottom band is filled, they remove this top one and it's retired to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Everything gets shifted up one and a brand new one's put on the bottom.
Oh, okay. And there's still space back here. So how much space or how many more teams can win before you guys got to change bands?
Yes, 7 more teams can win, and they'll be engraved on the cup, and then we'll switch the bands again and start over.
Out of these teams that are here, that have been immortalized in hockey history, what would you say is probably one of your favorite teams, or you as a hockey fan, what was one of your favorite Stanley Cups to watch?
Wow, there's so many great teams over the years, and some of the little dynasties, like with the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Islanders. Just recently, I guess, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then the Detroit Red Wings and Pittsburgh Penguins all had multiple back-to-back trophies and stuff. And it's so hard just to win one. Yeah. So if you can win more than one, Chicago Blackhawks, again, they had won 3 out of like 5 years or whatever it was, 6 years. And it's pretty amazing. So to win just one is pretty outstanding, and especially when a team that's never won one. And I think right now there's 11 teams that have never won the Stanley Cup. So far in this year's playoffs, I think there's 2 teams that have never won it before. So that's pretty exciting.
What are the... when you're out and you're at these events, what's the fan reception like?
Oh, it's hard to describe, but every time we go somewhere, it's usually the same thing. As soon as the case is opened and the cup is brought out and presented, fans just seem to come out of the woodwork. Yeah. They know what it is. They want to get close to it. They want to touch it, take photos, give it a kiss. Just to see it and be in its presence is pretty exciting for them. There
are a lot of superstitions surrounding this cup, so please tell me, what am I not supposed to do, or what do players do or don't do? What are some of the superstitions that people talk about when it comes to the Stanley Cup?
Well, you do have some fans who won't touch it because they think they're going to jinx their team, but I always try to tell them, why not take the good vibe from it, because everybody on there is a champion. Yep. So we allow the fans to touch it, hug it, give it a kiss if they like. The players can do a bit more because they've earned it. Their name is on the cup, so they're allowed to pick it up, and they're allowed to hoist it over their head, just like you would see them do on the final night when they win. They'll also take it home for the day, and they get a full day with it to celebrate with their community. Yep. And they'll drink from it, they'll eat from it, they'll take it fishing or golfing, and they try to make the best of their situation and create a great memory out of it.
So when it comes to what you do, and we'll go back to why you're here in New York and some of the cool things that players do when they do have their personal day, but what's your title? How did you get involved? Was this job up on Indeed.com or something? How are you the cup keeper, or one of them?
Right. I don't think it's a job that's really advertised out there. It's just one of those things that if you're working at the Hockey Hall of Fame, it's kind of introduced to you if you'd like to do it. And, it's kind of a great thing when someone recognizes that they trust you and stuff like that to do it. But so my job when I travel with it is to follow a schedule that's given to me. And I go to various events. And once I'm with a player throughout the day, I'm with them all day, because I have to transport it to him and I have to take it away at the end of the night. I'm there to answer questions, to share some of the history. And I just want to look after the cup to make sure it's handled properly. When I first started, I was a volunteer back in 2004. I just wanted to talk hockey with other fans.
Yeah.
And eventually working part-time hours on weekends, and then got asked to start traveling with the Cup in 2009.
Where are the 94 Rangers at on this Cup?
I have them facing the cameras front and center
Okay.
in the middle band. So I don't know if you can zoom in or not, but they're right there, front and center, and you know, preparing to make another run at it here. They're halfway there, so you never know. We'll see what happens.
Do you think that this team could, the 2024 Rangers, could do exactly what the 94 Rangers did and bring this Cup back to New York?
Oh, they're playing very well. They have a well-skilled team, lots of great players, and you know, I think they do have a shot. I mean, right now we're getting down to only one more series to finish tonight, so you're down to just 2 more rounds of players or teams to win this thing. So they're very close.
So when we're talking about the Players' Personal Day, I was reading that a baby's been baptized in the Cup. Mario Lemieux had it at a pool party, which I wish I could have went to. I can only imagine what that pool party was like. But what are some of the wildest places or like crazy stories that you can tell us that players have done with the Cup on their personal day with the trophy?
Right. I get those questions all the time, and I always say to people when they ask about the craziest stuff, I say, well, it may seem crazy to them, but for me it's normal, so I see it all the time.
All right.
But no, players, they do. They put their babies in the bowl. They've been christened. They eat whatever you want out of it. Cereal, ice cream, pierogies, chicken wings, caviar, everything has been in there.
Wow.
They drink from it and share with their community and family and friends, and yeah, it's been all around the world. It's been to over 30 countries around the world now. So it's been to Europe many times. And just this past September, we went to Australia for the very first time. And it's the first time the Stanley Cup was ever below the equator. So it was a pretty exciting time to be there.
So you are reaching new milestones every time that you go out to a different event as well. So no days are pretty much the same for you when it comes to traveling with the Cup and different events and hanging out with the players.
Right, yeah. Every day is a little different for sure. You know, flights are a little different, cities are different, the people that I meet are different. Now, you do run into the same people once in a while when you go back and forth, which is kind of nice. But yeah, everything's different. The events that we do, some are just with the Cup maybe sitting on a table so people can take photos. You know, other times I'm being interviewed like I am now, but other times the Cup is being asked to be part of maybe some video shoots and, you know, it just different things that, you know, they like to do with it. So, but all within the rules of the Cup anyways, so.
There's a dent that's in here, or is that dent still there? I forget the player's name, but they had like an accident or something with the Cup. What was that all about? And like, were you there for that moment?
No, I've never really been there when it's been dropped or dented. We try not to encourage that, but every once in a while something happens. It's an accident, and you know, the players are usually really respectful of it, and they don't want to damage it either. But once in a while, because of the way it's handled, and it's handled often, it does happen. But I don't know which particular one you're referring to, but you can see around the bowl anyways that there's been a few repairs here and there. And our silversmith does an amazing job to keep it in great shape. And considering how often it is handled, it's in amazing shape for something that's over 130 years old.
Yeah, the hockey dudes are some wild dudes. Lastly, you're here in the New York City. Why?
Well, we're on a media tour right now because of the playoffs are going on. So we're trying to promote the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Stanley Cup, and just to get it around to all the different news outlets, the media, you know, TV, radio, whatever it is. And we've done a few things too with some social media influencers too, and just trying to get the word out and make everybody more aware of the Stanley Cup and what's going on now within the sport.
Where do you head to next?
I'm going to be in the city for today and tomorrow, and then I'm flying to LA tomorrow afternoon.
Got all those frequent flyer miles just racking up, huh?
Yes.
All those points. Well, thank you for bringing the Stanley Cup in. We really appreciate what you do, because, especially player-wise. Like, as a guy who has held up the Vince Lombardi trophy, you know, there's rules. There's always people watching and people making sure that you're not doing anything stupid with the trophy. So you guys are very important. A lot of fans get a chance to kind of relive all different types of moments of their family history, being involved with whatever club that they love or organization that they love. So it's pretty cool with what you do, and thank you for taking your time for coming in and talking Stanley Cup trophy with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it being here.